I do think Disney diversity can be questioned, because I will just tell you right now, my honest opinion of Disney diversity casting right now, I think it's stunt casting.
That's the exact word I was going to use.
Double Toasted on Broadway. The great musical that everybody's been waiting on. No, actually, we're going to replace that poster right there. We're only saying that because we're going to be at the Broadway Comedy Club September 29th for a night of comedy. It's going to be all our shows have a big emphasis on comedy, but this one even more so. We're going to be at the the Broadway Comedy Club September 9th. Going to be in the Red Room. Show is at 10 p.m. That's a Friday. Tickets are $25, and it is very limited space. I think we're going to have about 50 seats available in there, and we want to fill those seats because we want to make this a regular thing. It's an intimate show. I'm going to be coming out and talking to the audience and doing a little, I guess you could say a little stand-up in a way, but it's going to be, just a little comedy, a little different from what we do. And then we'll bring Oz out, and then we'll do a little more traditional double toasted stuff. And then we're going to probably have some people come up and do some comedy on their own, do a little open mic night, and let the crowd, the audience, judge how you do. So if we can make this a regular thing, we'll try to do it every other month, and we'll be in New York every other month, hopefully at the Broadway Comedy Club. That's if we can actually fill the room. So come on out and get your tickets. Another Disney remake, Martin, another actor of color, and another controversy. I keep telling Disney about casting these coloreds up in these movies, man. People don't like it. People getting, stresses people out. People don't know what to think about it. It's just, it's not My Little Mermaid.
Sure.
Yeah, which, speaking of, that's what we had. We just finished with that Blackfish, Martin.
He went to the above world.
A man was drowning. I had to save him.
This obsession with humans has to stop.
I just want to know more about them.
Yeah, got through with that Blackfish, and now we moving over to that Snow White, Martin. Damn. The name says it all. Yeah. Snow White.
White.
Snow White is Snow White. It ain't brown rice. It ain't dirty snow. Listen, it's Snow White. If anything should be kept pure, it should be that right there, that property. But Disney just wants to they woke up and ain't gone back to sleep yet, Martin. They just want to go in and just change everything. Why y'all a lot of people out there saying, see, Disney, y'all probably the problem. You the reason why the white race is deplenishing. Because you just keep you keep emboldening these people of colors and these trends and these gays.
Thinking they could be the main characters.
How dare you make them the center of these stories that obviously and clearly belong to white people, or at least they did. But you know something, man? I got some things to say about diversity with Disney, because I know it sounds like right now we're saying, yes, this is great what Disney's doing, casting these people of color. Well, I mean, what's the problem with that? I think with Disney and with many other things that we'll be talking about a little bit, it's getting complicated. But you've all heard about this Snow White controversy, right?
I actually hadn't until you contacted me today.
Okay, so you got this girl here, Rachel Ziegler.
Yeah,
Ziegler. So, and if she looks familiar, you might have seen her recently in Spielberg's West Side Story. She was the main love interest there. It's everybody's used to controversies at this point due to casting, so I don't think there's any shock right there. I don't think there was any shock really when it happened with anything, but like with the Little Mermaid, we all knew that was going to be the case. But with Snow White, it's a little messier, man. It's not so straightforward. For one, it doesn't help that this girl been out there talking shit.
Oh, has she?
yeah. I'm like, damn, girl, you ain't helping. We help us help you. I'm looking at, what is this? Is this Slate? Let me see here on Slate how Snow White star Rachel Ziegler managed to piss off both Disney fans and conservatives, boy. People who are usually against each other.
Yeah.
What did she say? I had it highlighted, but it went away. But I can find it here. Oh, let me see. Here it is. because she has some choice words for the original Snow White out there. And she says here, or the article says rather, it says, however, it's not so much what Ziegler said as how she said it that appears to have ruffled feathers. By way of trying to explain the film's progressive makeover, Ziegler criticizes the original for very evidently being a product of the 1930s. There's a focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her, she says, calling that dynamic weird in a sing-song, seemingly sarcastic voice. Her version, Ziegler says, is really not about the love story at all, a change she deems wonderful. Instead, it's about Snow White's inner journey in order to find her true self. They're like, shut the up, all right? You know, we got a marketing department for this, okay?
Boy, Gen Z strikes again. It just gotta deconstruct everything that happened before and put it down because it doesn't fit with today.
Her assessment is a little extreme. Kevin King, he sent me an email of Rachel Ziegler saying what she said, and he says, it's a lot worse when you hear her say it.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. I'll assume is a love story just because.
That man was like, you know that other shit is mine too, right?
Right. Weird.
Yeah, it's man, she kind of has a condescending attitude towards it. Yeah, which I get people, when they start talking, they just,
I know.
Things come out, but damn, you know.
But that's such a Gen Z thing.
It really is. Shut up. Damn, quiet. And it's not that weird.
It's really not. I mean, the other one is a love story. Okay.
Yeah.
What is bad about that?
You know, she's not empowered, no girl power going on. I'm not trying to, I don't care that, I'm not one of those people who is threatened by feminism or, female empowerment. I'm not. But you just criticizing this movie for things that it isn't.
Yeah.
The dude ain't no stalker, all right? He ain't got enough personality to be a stalker. He's not a stalker. The love story in there is supposed to be simple, okay? It's a fairy tale. Yeah. Ain't no weird about this. You're the weird one.
They make it's almost like you're saying it's weird to pursue somebody that you're interested in.
Yeah, there's nothing weird about this movie at all. You got a damn witch and magic and animals dancing, and you talking, but yet the love story, the most normal thing in there, that's the weird thing.
Weird.
Yeah, you gotta be weird with it. Weird. No, man, come on.
The mom said, like, that other one's mine too,
You know we made that shit, right? I really? Wow, weird. Yeah, weird, right? Press that trap door. Show ass back to work.
I'll make you be needed.
I don't care. Give me a fresh one.
Fish her out of there.
As a piece of history, piece of animation history, it's an amazing film. This movie is the first of its kind that did what it's doing. This is the first animated feature-length movie of this type.
Yeah.
This movie broke ground.
Yeah.
Imagine us watching Jurassic Park today. That's what it was like when people were watching this back then, because they didn't think that you could create animation with this kind of emotion in it.
Sure.
At the time. Leave this movie alone. Now I'm mad. Stop. It's a brilliant film. Leave it alone. They ain't doing that shit. If you want to mention something that actually is, somebody said it gets worse.
Worse. Uh-oh.
Can it get worse?
It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And all of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's...
That mouse has watched this the whole time.
Well, I am
Wouldn't it be hilarious if they edit this in such a way that it makes the love story the main component?
Ends up being a complete love story.
Yeah.
And it's going to be. At some point. Listen, I get what she's trying to say. I think she's just not doing a good job at it.
Right, right. I mean, there's plenty of the Disney things that they've been doing lately where it's not all about the princess finding love. That was one of the refreshing things about Frozen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you don't have to treat it like it's poison.
You don't have to look down.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. The original director called her out.
Oh, really?
Party Crasher, he gave $1 in the hyper chat to say the original directors even called her out on that. Listen, y'all, I love Snow White, okay? I love the original 1930s film, man. I love it for the animation. I love it for the historical context. Okay, this movie is pretty amazing for what it achieved at the time, and now it's lost. Of course, on generations later, it's lost. All they see is a dude stalking a chick.
No, it's a product of its time, the 1930s. Yeah, what else would it be?
Yeah, everything. Shit, things move so fast. Things that are outdated from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
2 weeks
true.
ago is a product of its time.
I just, whenever I'm hearing somebody going like, well, that's problematic and you can't do that today, I'm like, you think the way you feel right now is the way it's going to stay?
Yeah.
I guarantee that stuff you love right now, that in 10 years, people are going to be looking down on and look down on you for liking it at the time.
Yeah, listen, maybe I'm being defensive because I love this film and I accept this film as a product of its time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit. There's some shit that's offensive to black people that I still like.
Yeah.
But I realized that shit was from years ago.
Uh-huh.
And I actually judge it for ways. I ain't trying to pull some story. Well, that dude, he was stalking her, man. He's a creep. You know what I mean? Look at him. Yeah, look at him. If he hadn't kissed her ass would still be in that goddamn case. Looking like a action figure or something.
Yeah, because everybody does love to point out, it's like, well, he's kissing her without consent. And it's like, okay, yeah, you should just let her die.
He didn't kiss her out consent. He wasn't like, oh shit, look at this bitch out in the woods. Nobody's around. Like he groped her and raped her.
Yeah.
He was told that you have to kiss her. Mm-hmm. That's the only way she's gonna wake up.
Well, I don't know. If she can't say yes to it, then I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That has to be looking like a Barbie doll in plastic if he didn't wake her ass up.
Dude, kiss her, please. No, I can't catch a case over this.
Oh man, he's a creep, he's a stalker, and obviously into necrophilia.
Yeah, right.
People, I'll be the first to tell you that Snow White, yes, it's very much a product of its time. The story wasn't that deep. It's a fairy tale. It's a very basic love story. The acting style is very outdated with Snow White. The Prince is a lot of things. The Prince is dull. The Prince ain't got no personality. To be Prince Charming, he ain't got no charm at all.
Right. Oh yeah, he does. Money.
There you go. Yeah, he looked like her a little bit. Them lips. Shit, it looks like a lesbian scene.
He just needs her as a beard.
Yeah, it looked like two chicks about to go at it right there. But but the dude ain't a stalker, okay? He's not a stalker, all right? He's a lot of things. It's, that's the thing. In our attempts to be progressive, sometimes we apply meanings to things that don't deserve it.
Exactly.
And that's ridiculous, y'all. There's a lot of things you can say about this movie, but him stalking her, you trying to make some feminist issue out of it? No, out of here with that. That's not the case, man. Man, I tell you who was a badass in that movie, though. You talking about all this nonsense, looking at things that ain't there. Look at some of the stuff that's real. I love the badass chick that was in there. Let's talk about the badass chicks that were in here. That witch.
Oh yeah.
First of all, the evil queen, like one of my favorite villains because she's two villains in one. She's a rich bitch who's jealous of like the younger chick. Just for no reason, man. Like she's hot.
Yeah, she's very hot.
She's hot.
Look, man, if you got your choice between the two, I got to go with the evil witch or the queen.
Well, no, the queen. Look, that evil queen in here. She fine as hell, hot,
she is, yeah,
hot, and still just hating,
yeah,
for no reason. But you get two villains in one. You get the hot rich bitch over here, and then you get that old creepy ass old woman, that
old crone.
That old crone. I love her because she just, man, she just be popping up on people. What's up? Hey! I see you up in here.
Just stand there making that face.
Yeah. What you doing, girl? I see you. Coming up here trying to bring up poison apples and shit. I got some for your ass.
The men folks' mouths water.
What I love about it, like she's scary as hell and still convinced Snow White to buy these apples off of her.
Right.
Yeah, you know you want this shit. Here you go, girl. Dig in. Now, look, you see that right there. And you're like, okay. And she got it for free.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, she brought that apple up here like she delivering HelloFresh, man. Martin looking at me like now, like, really, man?
Come on,
He like,
man.
really?
I was on your side.
For real. Yeah, let me just tell y'all real quick about HelloFresh, man. You know, since we're talking about food being delivered right to your door, and delivered much better than that. HelloFresh, y'all. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Hey, look, y'all. What I really like about HelloFresh is that, man, they pride themselves on keeping their variety going by the seasons. You know, we got fall that's about to come up, and they're saying, hey, you know what? For all y'all who missed HelloFresh in the summer, man, and missed all those nice summer recipes, well, HelloFresh has got a new batch of recipes for the fall, and HelloFresh, let them take care of the meal prep for you by putting everything together, planning it, and delivering these pre-portioned ingredients right to your home. Makes it very easy to cook. You just simply choose your recipes and your delivery date, and it's brought to you to your home, pre-proportioned out, and all you do is got to start cooking. I know I can't. You saying I can't cook, Corey? You don't think HelloFresh knows this? They know you can't cook.
They got you.
They got you. That's why they put these recipes out in great detail, and they want you to feel proud of yourself when you're done. Thing is, you know, cook a meal for yourself first. See how it comes out and see how easy it is. And then I'm gonna talk to the fellas out there. And then when you're confident, and you will be, go ahead and prep a little something for that girl about to come over. Yeah, women love a guy that can cook. They just got through watching a bear and everything. Yeah.
You can yell at them.
Oh. They got these homemade meals that you can make, man, 30 minutes or less. And hey, if you really, you know, if you really short on time, they got quick and easy meals that take 15 minutes or less to make. I mean, I think you can make snacks and lunch and maybe even a breakfast, quick and easy.
All that.
Very flexible, because they make breakfasts and lunches too. And as I said, they'll save you so much time. They got snacks that are available now. You can look at some of these items that they have here. Let's take a look at some of these items they have up in here. Look at this food. Look at this. Look at that colorful eye-popping food. You gonna look at that and be like, I did that? Yes, you will. Yes, you will.
That was all you.
And here's the thing, you know, being that it's fall, you know, back to school is coming up. Get those lunches ready with HelloFresh. Yeah, they got lunches you can make for the kids very easily. And speaking of time and money, and getting this food delivered to your door, you know, it's delivered to your door just like groceries, except that with HelloFresh, 25% cheaper than shopping at the grocery store, and especially very much cheaper than eating out. So
sure.
You know, you don't know what they do in that food, but you know what you do in your own food.
That's the number one thing I think about.
Exactly, y'all. So here's what I want y'all to do, man. Here's what I want y'all to do. You know, you're looking at that food right now, you're getting hungry. You're sitting up there thinking like, man, you know, I want to impress myself. I want to make that. So here's what you do. Oh, you know, I'm gonna make you even. I'm gonna whet your appetite a little bit more. I'm gonna send you over to hellofresh.com/50 double toasted, and you're gonna get 50% off free shipping when you put in the code 50 double toasted. Ooh, boy, if that don't make you hungry, I don't know what does, man. So go ahead and get that deal right there. I want to thank HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, for sponsoring this portion of the show. And Martin, you know what I'm going to do?
What you going to do?
I'm going to thank these people out there for their support, too. I'm looking at them talking about, well, what about me? I helped out, too. Yes, you did. Yes, you couldn't do it without you. HelloFresh couldn't do it without you.
Mm-hmm.
Your hungry self. All right. Let's continue on. Where was I?
Oh, yes.
Ah, yes. So, you know, of course, now that, you know, this controversy is out there, and controversy is not about Gen Z and how they're, you know, being too progressive or anything. The controversy is about how this is complicating things, this discussion about Snow White with diversity. Of course, you have the usual complaints that are out there. The son of the original director, he put his, you know, he's already crying woke. No, this Snow White, that bitch is just too woke for me. Let me see, who is the son here? His last name is Hand, and he's 91 years old, and he tells the Telegram.
Shit,
yeah, of course, you weren't gonna like it anyway.
Yeah.
You weren't gonna like it if that was a white one. You wouldn't like it anyway. I mean, you like it better, but he wasn't gonna like it anyway.
Yeah.
You just mad at the world right now.
Yeah, you don't publish a statement from somebody who's 91.
Unless you want a good laugh.
Right. Unless you just want to get eyeballs on it and get people mad about something.
David Hand, that's his name. David Hand, 91, told the Telegraph per Entertainment Weekly, and this is on people.com. He says, it's a whole different concept, and I just totally disagree with it. Nah! He says, he called it a disgrace that the live action treatment is trying to do something new with something that was such a great success earlier. Do you know how many Snow Whites have come out since then?
Exactly, so many.
Their thoughts are just radical now. They change the stories. They change the thought process of the characters. They make up new woke things, Martin. And the thought process of the characters and the woke things, and I'm just not into any of that. Nah, Martin.
And he hasn't even seen it.
I don't need to see it.
And where were you when Snow White and the Huntsman came out? Which was a total progressive girl power thing where they changed everything about it.
I don't know, Martin, but Mexicans!
well, then say that.
Okay. That's not no story, by the way. He didn't say that. But, there's a discussion to be had. I might not agree with everything this man is saying, but there is a discussion to be had with Disney's treatment of diversity, especially with these remakes getting people so heated right now.
Yeah.
The topic is so sensitive that I've pissed a few people off. I've had a few people get mad at us, and especially mad at me, because they heard a few minutes of a video, or they saw a clip that was out of context, especially with the Little Mermaid. Oh, people thought that we were against the Black Little Mermaid, man.
No.
Didn't say that at all.
Didn't say that at all.
I mean even in a snippet.
There are things about it though that present a problem, but
yeah. But even in a snippet, I don't know how people got that. But they got out of context and thought that we didn't want a Black mermaid. But let me just say this. I'm all for diversity, of course. And I'll take it wherever I can. Even with a Disney remake, if that's all I got. I'd rather little girls see this than nothing, I do not side with people at all who are mad simply because they don't like change or because they don't like that a certain group is making advances. Mm-hmm. They can go themselves. All right, I'm not with them at all. At the same time, I might say some things that you might misconstrue as being against what you think, and if that's the case, oh well, there's nothing I can do, but I got opinions.
Yeah.
As you do too. Okay, so I'm gonna start this discussion talking about, I do think Disney diversity can be questioned, because I will just tell you right now, my honest opinion of Disney diversity casting right now, I think it's stunt casting.
That's the exact word I was gonna use.
I think that Disney uses, all these different groups for lackluster remakes, man. And I think that they know that the controversy is going to happen. That's part of the plan. Uh-huh. I think they look at that as marketing.
It gets people talking.
Yeah, they knew that people were going to talk about this poor Black mermaid right here, man. And it gets people talking, man. I think it's all part of the plan. I think they welcome that. But for a long time I've had a problem with Disney diversity casting. Because they pat themselves on the back for it so much. And I think they do it to also keep this business revived, because those remakes, they kind of fall off after a while.
Like after the second one.
Yeah. Now, Lion King, that thing's a juggernaut, man. Yeah. That's going to do well. But some of these remakes are just, they fall by the wayside, man. I think, doing stunt casting, especially with diversity, they look at that like a win on several levels. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're looking progressive.
Yeah.
Get people talking about it. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I had another point. I can't remember what it was. Because she was barking down here. No, it makes us look progressive. It gets people talking, and we revive the business of these remakes.
Yeah.
We keep them going. That's our fresh coat of paint.
Yeah.
Brown and black or gay or whatever.
You think about it. like nobody's really thinking about the Little Mermaid, and then the Little Black Mermaid comes out, and there's people who are gonna be like, well, that's one thing, but here, let's watch the original so you can see what it really is.
Yeah.
More eyeballs, more clicks,
Yeah.
more dollars.
There you go. Oh yeah, it works in a retro fashion too. They retroactively get money from the first. So they get advertising for the original Little Mermaid. They know that people gonna be talking shit, and they know this. They're not stupid, okay? Yeah, so it's a strategy of getting these tired remakes to keep going. And as I said, it barely worked for the Little Mermaid. That's how much that people are losing interest in these remakes.
Sure.
Now the Little Mermaid was not a complete bust, okay? It did fall into this summer where things were coming out so rapidly and so much and in so much quantity that it got buried a little bit. But the film grossed $567 million worldwide. And that's on a budget of $250 million. It's the 9th highest grossing movie of 2023. Amongst the live action remakes, though, the film is the second most expensive, but is the 7th highest grossing readaptation to date right now. So, I mean, they made money. I'm sure they're a little disappointed because they thought it would do more.
Sure, because it had so many months of people, arguing over the Black Little Mermaid to begin with.
Yep.
So they had tongues wagging, but I don't know. I just wonder if, like, for all that, people would just still see, like, yeah, but it's still the same movie, though. It's not. I'm not. And the thing is, and it wasn't until I saw somebody else mentioning this, like, I think a big thing is, like, casting Halle Bailey.
Yeah,
Halle Bailey and all, and she's great in the movie. I think that, but we got a Black Little Mermaid, but she's Little Mermaid with black skin, where her blackness is not addressed even a little bit. And I don't think it should take over the film. But there's like it's not even real. It's like you say, stunt casting until you address it. And a big thing about that is we basically have a little girl who's like, I don't care about the culture I grew up in. I'm obsessed with their culture.
Yeah.
And it's almost like she's a little Candace Owens or something.
Well, I would call her that because she ain't that bad. I wouldn't wish on that girl at all. I understand I wanted to make it all about her race or anything because they're trying. But this is the thing. They're trying to put in so many people where look, everybody's diverse.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the Caribbean where everybody ain't black no more. Everybody lives there. Hey man, it's But that you bring up a good point in that. I don't think that the casting is sincere with Disney. That's my problem with it. Now, I'll just say this. I'll get the point that I always hammer in out the way first, because you always hear me say this. There's much more to this. I'm going to make this brief, but it is part of, since we're having the discussion, I'm going to go ahead and say it, because you heard my complaints about this. If I'm saying it's not sincere, what I mean by that is that, like I said, they'll cry diversity and try to look progressive as long as it's safe. And to a certain point, I find that offensive because, as I said, with the Little Mermaid, they have no problems hooking up with a white dude. And I don't have any problem with that idea either, not at all. But I would tell you, as of right now, they will not do that if the roles are reversed. I said that before, so I think it's bullshit what they're doing. And I think it's phony in a way. I don't find it sincere at all. Look at what not only there, if you think I'm bullshitting, look at what they did with let's not look at the fairy tales. Let's take it to another property that boys love, Star Wars. Look what they did to John Boyega.
Yeah,
they told John Boyega straight up, man, don't you get near that white girl. Yeah, he's not in the movie. They ain't even like that picture right there. Hey, John, what you doing? Hey, space. They said, man, don't. And they told him. I mean, I know this is what they were thinking. Like they said, you know what? Don't worry about that white girl, man. We're gonna get you a nice Asian girl right here.
Yeah.
And that way, you still got something to do. You still got some love interest, and we don't piss off as many people.
Right.
Now, the Asians might be pissed off, but we don't get we don't care. What are they going to do? And even he's looking like, this ain't what I ordered. You're like, who are you, girl?
I think there's been some mistake.
Yeah, no, it ain't. And let me tell you something. You think I'm playing about them brushing off Asians? This is before the Asians were really getting their time.
Yeah.
It was, back then they were saying, hey, what's up, man? But, they were being kind of ignored to the point where the girl that played Rose, the Asian love interest, they buried her.
Yeah, they sure did.
The next movie, she had nothing to do.
I know. As much as we complained about downgrading Finn, she got even worse.
She sure did. She got, they didn't care about Asians at all with their progressive ass. And with him, if that had been, I really do believe that if that had been a white lead male character, they probably would have at least flirted a little bit more. I hinted at something. I know Ray's the character of Ray. She's not, she ain't know about that love shit. But I'm sure that there would have been some sort of tension going on. Yeah. But no, all that brother, he's like a black dude at a bar trying to hit on a white girl. hey, I got a boyfriend. Hey, that's all. That's all they let him do.
Right.
Yeah. So they treated her like she didn't even exist. They were very careful with him not to go get ahead of himself.
Right. And by the time we get to the third movie, Rose is pretty much gone. It's like, look, we're just going to partner you up with Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
It'll be like a buddy cop movie.
It sure was. At first I thought, well, shit, are they going to
right.
him and Oscar Isaac?
Yeah.
And people trying to ship them, man.
I believe it.
Yeah, they were talking about Finn and Huckleberry, whatever his name is.
Wasn't it Cameron Poe?
Poe.
Yeah.
Poe. Damarin Poe. I think, people talking about Finn and Poe gonna get hooked up, man. I'm like, I would love it if y'all do that with two gay characters and put them out there in Star Wars. Got nothing against it at all. Support it, but not them.
Right.
His brother was not gay in the beginning, okay?
I know.
Out of here.
We're doing a new thing with your character. He's into dudes now.
What? You're pansexual. You've been pansexual the whole time. You just kept it to yourself. So nah, man, I don't think they are sincere with that at all. And when you come to doing remakes, man, it's just more problematic, because at this point, now we're not even talking about diversity anymore. Now with these remakes, we've gone far enough to where we're talking about authenticity, not diversity, not just that. We're talking about authenticity, because now we're running into some controversy with Snow White, and not just because of the casting of Snow White herself, but people are kind of more upset about those dwarves, man.
I knew that was coming.
Because people looking at them and saying, well, first of all, we're talking about a problem with dwarves. I wish we had a problem with dwarves, but those ain't dwarves.
Ooh, okay. So with that, oh man, I was worried about that, because with the Snow White movie with Julia Roberts and Armie Hammer, they used normal sized actors and just CG'd them to look like short people, really. And I guess here they just abandoned that.
They said they got one dude to represent, and look at he leading the tall people. They got one dwarf there. But I'm looking at this. Look, listen, even I'm a little irritated, because I'm looking at this like those ain't even. We ain't even doing nothing with Snow White. These are hippies.
Yeah.
They talking about that. No, they're not dwarves. They're magical people. I think ain't nothing magical about them except when they on shrooms. These are hippies, man.
Dude.
That's a commune. These fools, they grow weed and beeswax.
Yeah.
And sell that shit on the side of the road.
See, when you see things like, you talk about the authenticity, you see things like that, I don't know. It does make you go like, oh, how much have they changed here? Because even just from what Rachel was saying, and then to look at that, there's sometimes like you want to make things progressive and update it to a point that it no longer resembles the thing it was.
Yeah.
And you might as well change the title.
Yeah, talking about high ho. No, just high. They high. They got through smoking weed, doing shrooms. That's why they all laughing and shit. And they on their way to a Renaissance fair or some free music concert.
Wow, one of those dwarves was a basketball player.
Casting of dwarves is a tricky issue in itself. So, this has been an issue with other Snow White movies. With that movie that you were talking about, Snow White and the Huntsman. Mm-hmm. That's the one with
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart and Charlize Theron. Yeah. So, this is the one where they try to actually be progressive themselves and make Snow White more of an action star and more of an action type film. Got her in armor and everything. So they're trying to be progressive, but little did they know that this would not age well, because they didn't use convention. They didn't use dwarves. They used conventionally. I'm trying to phrase it right. conventionally sized people. I don't want to see regular or normal.
Okay.
They use conventionally tall people or sized people for the dwarves here. They just use CGI to shrink them down.
Before we started shooting, we had to do this dwarf training school, where it was the four of us and our doubles all creating this walk.
But if I was a dwarf, I'd be offended as a dwarf training school.
Yeah.
You sent people to a school to behave like me, my unemployed ass. And that reminded me, people, that is wrong. That is wrong. Now, I want you to think. Reverse it, because a lot of people are not used to seeing this right here, in issues with dwarves and whatnot. Now imagine if that was reversed and we did something like this.
And two, at Hollywood's first black acting school. It teaches you everything.
Now imagine if we had a black acting school right there. That's a parody. Now imagine that was real. We'd be mad as hell.
I bet it exists. It just has a different title, so they can keep it on the down low.
I'm gonna say no, it doesn't exist. I'm gonna say that does not exist at all. But apparently, dwarf acting school does. You see this people? This woman over here rocking back and forth. We had to learn how to walk, chicken walk like a dwarf. I mean, we had to duck walk like a dwarf. You see this people? It's offensive as hell.
Do this dwarf training school, where it was the four of us and our doubles all creating this walk that each of our characters have.
It's
wow. Yeah. No, if I was a dwarf actor, I'd be so pissed.
And today,
I would have thrown a brick at the TV.
Oh yeah, and today, dwarves would have raised hell.
Yeah.
Back then, he just would have got kicked out the way.
We get you on the next one.
Yeah.
You could be a stunt double. How about that?
Yeah, over at Wolf of Wall Street, they're doing casting for midget tossing. Go over there. Get your little ass out there. And action. But now this is a tricky area right here because there's way too many arguments to be done here, man. For and against. First of all, the reason that we're having this change to the magical hippie people right here, potheads. Just come on, just call them what they are. God damn it. But the reason why we're having this change from being dwarves to the magical hippie people is because of the complaints of one dwarf, Peter Dinklage.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Dinklage actually said that dwarves are offensive in these Snow White movies. And, which I'm going to say is weird.
That is weird.
I'm going to say it's weird because my man defended, he defended one thing out there.
There's one small problem.
Hi, I'm Ross. I'm his brother.
People, that is, what's his name?
Gary Oldman.
That's Gary Oldman playing a dwarf on his knees.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even try to shorten his arms or anything. And what they call the role of a life. There's a movie called Tiptoes.
Yeah.
Now, Peter Dinklage doesn't like the Seven Dwarfs and what they're doing with that, but, Gary Oldman on his knees, that's perfectly fine. He said there was some flack, he said. Why would you put Gary Oldman on his knees? That's almost like blackface. That's dwarf face. And I have my own opinions about political correctness, but I was just like, hey, it's Gary Oldman. He can do whatever he wants, and I'm just happy to be here. He was just happy to have a job at that time.
Yeah.
Now he got some clout and got an award. Now, hey, this shit ain't right.
And actors have that where they idolize certain actors or directors, and they're like, I just want a chance to work with them.
Yeah.
Everything else be damned. I get to work with them, but they're magnificent. They can do whatever they want.
Yep, exactly. That's what he did right there. However, this is where we get into the tricky part with this, man. I do see his point. So I can see why he's upset because, the Seven Dwarfs in this, man, they're there to be, it's a subservient role, man. They with Snow White, they're side characters. And I'm not complaining about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I told you that. I love the movie.
Yeah.
But there are side characters that are there to be, to serve the happiness of the two beautiful main characters, and this, their happiness is not what's important. It's all about Snow White. It's all about her happiness. They're in love with her. Her life means more than theirs. That's fine for this movie at the time. And it's an animated movie too. Mm-hmm. I can understand today with, issues of dwarves wanting to be, recognized, not ever having liked historically how they've been represented, wanting to have opportunity for employment. I get that. And wanting to have their stories told instead of just being a sidekick that's either that's either what do you call it, comedy relief, are there to serve the main characters.
Well, to that point, wouldn't it be a better move to go ahead and hire dwarves and then just tell more of their story, give them more agency than to just take the dwarves out altogether? Like it seems like that's an opportunity to improve that.
Well, see, that's the point that I'm trying to make. Is like it's an argument that's not going to please anybody, because for the people that you tell, well, this is, if we just bump up their roles a little bit and then, give them more story, then we could hire dwarves and give them employment. But some people are going to argue that, well, it's still serving, a bigger story and not ours. Some people say, I would like to have my story told instead of just putting me in there. I see both sides of the argument. It's a really tricky thing, man. But see,
sounds like what about it? I know.
I just, I see both sides of the argument. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's important to make original stuff.
Well, that is the thing, because it's been pointed out. It's like instead of having these classics from the past that we have to clean up, just how about just like not keep referring back to those old things? And let's focus on some new stuff.
If you really want to serve diversity, you see the trickiness that we're getting in now with casting with these movies. These old movies, man, these remakes that they do. First of all, they just seem. Maybe this will work out. Maybe I don't know. Because to be fair, we haven't seen the movie yet, so they're trying something different. Maybe this will work out. I can't say whether this will be good or not. It's not fair. I haven't seen it. And then when we say try something different, they do, and then here we are complaining. But I think I know. I think I feel that the best approach is, you've done these remakes so much where they are almost shot for shot, and then when they're not, they're still bringing in baggage. Still people, bringing in, their memories of this, their prejudices, their biases. If you really want to represent diversity, start telling some of these stories that that haven't been told. Actually take some work. Yeah. It's not lip service.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
look at something like Sea Beast, where original story, but there's plenty of diversity in there. Yeah, and it's not stepping on anybody's toes.
Exactly. No, exactly. You just saw an original movie the other day that was, it had an interracial couple, black guy and a white girl, and they were like in a sci-fi fantasy, and their race was not even a big deal of it.
No. I mean, it was. I mean, not a big deal. It was like it was acknowledged, but it didn't take over the movie.
Yeah. What was the name of that movie? Because I know people don't think what we're talking about.
Landscape with Invisible Hand.
Sure you're not gonna make fun of it?
Just show me.
You have 62 viewers.
This is what I mean by, I'm not saying that Disney's going to do what they do. I'm not telling them to stop. I'm not telling them to keep going. I'm just saying they're going to do what they do. But if you want to look for where real diversity is being most effective, where people, they can't complain too much unless you're just a pure dick and a racist, or got some phobia and isms going on. It's stuff like this is really going to be where the good diversity is. Yeah, because it feels natural, it's original. Nobody's bringing in their own baggage in here, and really, because a lot of racists hide behind, well, I just admire the original so much, and that's what I want. It doesn't matter if he's black or anything. They lying.
Right.
They lying. All right. So if they see something like this, they got no right to complain if they're not racist. If they are, then hey, that'll come through.
Yeah.
What did they really have to cast a black guy kissing a white guy? I'll get that.
Well, you finally say what you mean.
We have you review this film too, man, today. Just briefly. Yeah, I want to hear you talk about it. I guess I feel like I do with the dwarf thing because, Disney has done this a lot where they pat themselves on the back for being progressives in some kind of way or thinking they're telling a beautiful story and they're not. It's still kind of weird. Like the whole thing, like that's why I feel like that about the dwarves being, subservient to the main characters because they're not the ones that have a deep story told. They're not the ones that find romance and love unless it's funny. That's why I'm not crazy about the Hunchback because the Hunchback was like that.
Dude, Hunchback's terrible.
It's terrible, man. Thank you, Martin. Just have this. They think they're telling this beautiful story about this deformed guy who's so lonely that he's crazy talking to statues up in a bell tower, and then at the end of the movie. they think it's happiness. I think it's happily ever after for him to get the two beautiful people together while his ass is still lonely,
right.
talking to inanimate objects. It's really a story, man.
It is.
He's been abused.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, when Victor Hugo wrote it, he didn't write it to be a Disney animated movie.
No, he did not, and that's why I'm saying Disney. That was crazy. I know a lot of people love this, but I saw this. I was like,
when I saw they were doing an adaptation of it, I was like, "Are you sure?" Because this thing is gruesome.
There's some brilliant stuff in the movie. That musical number Hellfire is amazing. But I'm like, this is weird. He's like, all right, well, you two be happy.
Priest.
Oh, this rapey ass priest, and this whole thing with this deformed guy. Y'all go ahead and be happy. I'm just gonna go sit by myself again and be insane. Even though he did make a sequel where he got a deformed chick too. Okay. I don't like stop. Just stop.
It's too late now.
yeah. Sometimes they make it hard to argue for diversity. And that's where I really get at odds with myself. I hate that, man. I hate when I feel that way because sometimes I just got to say, I got to agree with the people I don't want to agree with.
Oh, I know. Don't you hate that?
I hate it, man.
I felt that way with that, was it Peter and Wendy or whatever, that Peter Pan?
Oh, did you see it? I didn't.
No, I wasn't. Just I couldn't, man. But when they showed the Lost Boys, the Lost Boys that are all different genders and sexualities, I was like, guys, you're pushing this too hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, why?
Well,
who asked for this?
Well, I'm looking at something like that right there. But, looking at something like Obi-Wan, man. Can diversity get in the way of good storytelling? And, and like I said, again, Star Wars comes to mind with Obi-Wan. The reason why I bring this up is because, as we know, a lot of people had a problem with Moses Ingram as one of the main characters, the main Inquisitor. One of the people that were Jedis that went bad and go around, just pretty much playing bad cop on people. And, the story centered so much on her and also on another character that, we didn't get we didn't get the story between like Anakin and Obi-Wan.
That's right. What everybody tuned in for.
Yeah, everybody wanted to see this whole thing. This is between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker. Finally bitching it out, and getting and duking it out too. This is supposed to be their story. It was supposed to be complicated, their feelings that they had for each other, and we thought that was going to be explored, and it wasn't. We spent a lot of time on this character right here, and I don't think that was needed. The thing is, I can't really blame her race on this at all because, like I said, there was another character in there that was messing it up. I mean, she pretty much, and she was worse because we spent half the movie chasing after her little ass. He didn't even try.
I know. Those little legs, you couldn't extend just a little, another 6 inches and pick her up.
Hey, wait, where you going? Yeah, little Princess Leia, man. Yeah. So that she helped, take the attention away from Anakin and Obi-Wan. But I will say that it just made me feel bad, even remotely agreeing with the racists out there that said that she did not need to be there.
Well, like you said, her race had nothing to do with it. It's just the focus on this character who's just out of the blue and taking up time away from what we came to see.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying, I don't even like remotely agreeing with those people.
I got you.
I don't even like being in that same boat with them.
Yeah.
It made me feel bad that I had to agree with the people that said, she ain't got to be there. And I was like, well, she ain't got to be there. But then nobody listened after that. Everybody, that bitch need to be gone, right? Yeah, I guess so.
I mean,
am I right? Yeah, but no, ain't no but. She just need to be gone. When you start talking about authenticity, you start talking about a lot of things that go on with other studios and just all of Hollywood. And it's happening right now. When people are talking about authenticity in Hollywood, it really starts making things complicated because with authenticity now, first you have representation and diversity, and now you got authenticity where people are still saying, well, if you want a person cast for that role, that person needs to be that in real life.
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser, Noel. No, you should hire a real obese person who needs a job to be in that role right there. I don't know how many, I'm gonna play devil's argument here, devil's advocate. I don't know how many obese A-list stars we have.
Right.
Or even B-list.
Because you need somebody like Brendan Fraser Fraser, who is recognizable, has gone through his own weight gain issues, and that by putting him in that suit, it just draws your eye to it.
Yeah.
Even more so than, and finding an actor who is that morbidly obese.
Yeah. I'm not saying that that a person shouldn't be considered that is obese. I just don't know who we would have that has the recognizability.
It's even as basics, it's a tricky thing because it's, hey, you need to hire somebody who is exactly what this character is.
Mm-hmm.
But acting has always been about pretending to be something that you're not.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is true. But, I guess now we're at a point where, and again, there's a lot of arguments to be made here. I'm not saying one thing or another, but there are people out there who need work. Maybe they could, we could argue in Brendan Fraser's case with the whale, what that would do for another person. But yeah, I get it. There's a lot of people out there who have been overlooked. Diversity is a thing now. It's not what it was before. People demand to be represented and hired for jobs. So I understand. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen all the time. I don't know if it's even possible all the time. But I don't know. I'm not looking for answers here. I'm just saying, you see how complicated things are getting now. And it's been like that. Scarlett Johansson, she dropped out of this film as a transgender man called Rub and Tug. I remember the controversy with her when she was being cast as a transgender man. They said, well, there are transgender men out here who could use the word. So, listen, I'm not saying one thing or another.
I love how you pop up that article and your gym equipment is right there.
It just doesn't go away, man.
I know.
It doesn't. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's not. Ever since I bought this gym equipment, that shit has been looking at me and stalking me. That Prince ain't stalking nobody. That gym equipment is stalking me on every page, man. Every page, Martin, that pops up. Shit, if I ain't got to work out in, it's there to tell me I'm going to get my ass up.
Right.
Man, some of these things are resurfacing now. And the only thing I don't like, I think there are arguments again to be made for past films. Like, yeah, maybe at a different time that should have been casted, with a different person. But that was back then. Mm-hmm. The only thing I don't like about this is that people are starting to retroactively call for action. When those movies are made they're a product of their time. Mm-hmm. They're asking for, who are they asking to give their Oscar back right now? We have a controversy on a movie going on, and they're asking for the actress to give her Oscar back.
Wait. I did see something about that the other day.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock for The Blind Side. They're retroactively going in and saying,
that's right.
They're saying, hey, this shit wasn't right. Get that Oscar back.
Yeah.
Like, no. I'm not.
Don't take it.
I'm not about that at all. And people are now starting to come in and, they might start on your girl right here.
Are you or are you not?
How could they know? I'm gonna tell him what we know is true.
That's Hilary Swank in Boys Don't Cry. Mm-hmm. You might start coming after her, But that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
That was an important movie.
And it was an important movie. And yes, today, will we consider casting different? Yes, but that's because we progressed. We got to look at things in context and think about how we progressed and how things were made at that time. We can't be mad about that.
Sure. And there's also a thing, and I don't like delving into the business side of all this, but there is we need an actor that people recognize to get this thing seen by a lot of people. You could probably find that actor who is transgender or a dwarf, but because there's no recognition, people go like, I might check that movie out when it streams.
My only argument with that is that I at least think it's worth an effort because that's the excuse that Hollywood has used for years.
True.
And that's the thing. That argument is what has held people back all these years.
You are absolutely correct, which is why it's important that they build these other actors up in other things so they can become recognized.
I agree. So we got to start somewhere, though. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What's the strategy? You hire recognizable people around this one person so that people, will come see the movie? I don't know. I do know I'm very nervous about that argument because executives for years have said, that's what's held. That's why we only got Black Panther now. Mm-hmm. Well, blacks just don't make that much money, you know, and now we're proving them wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't, but Martin, you're right. I have no solution. I don't know.
I mean,
I do not know what the answer is.
To try and see what, is going to work, or maybe it's a combination of them.
Yeah. I mean, and it's one of those things where we're not going to know. It's just going to happen. You know, things like that just happen. Progress happens.
Yeah.
We can never really predict how.
True.
But yeah, you know, I just say that we see these remakes coming up, and these remakes, in Disney, I'm definitely always suspect of Disney in their casting of outside groups or fringe groups or minorities or whatever. You know, Disney has always patted themselves on the back for just having a gay person show up.
Yeah, that's how it was in that 101 Dalmatians movie.
Really?
Yeah. The clothing store owner that helps out.
Oh, Cruella?
Cruella, that's the guy. Yeah, and like, hey, first openly gay character is like openly gay side character who showed up 2 or 3 times just to help her out of nowhere. Yeah. Almost a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. You don't get no points for just showing up, okay, or having somebody show up. Disney has done this for a long time, and I think Disney has really, you know, in a way, even though it's a bunch of people coming in making controversies about things that seem wrong. That seem, we often feel like these people are making a big deal about nothing. These people are racist, they're homophobes, whatever. I'm glad these arguments are being brought up because, you know, now we're having real discussions about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's wrong to try to go back and fix the past so much because the past is past. But it is good to have something prickly so that going forward, there's no falling back into that.
Yeah. But I do think with Disney putting all these remakes out there, they've opened our eyes to a lot of different aspects of this diversity discussion and argument.
I wish it'd be enough to make them stop doing it.
Yeah, I would too, man. I'm just sick of it. I'm tired of them, and I really am tired of Disney using, you know, all these groups as a way to like. It's a way to market their movies and promote their movies.
Yeah.
Like I said, stuntcast. I'm tired of them doing that, but it's a bigger picture that's happening all around Hollywood right now. And like I said, you know, we've jumped to another area. Authenticity, and we're going to see what happens with that. I just saw this today with the Snow White discussion, and that's, you know, that movie's not even out yet. Yeah. I'm eager to see where the whole thing goes with this.
I mean, it's almost like something you said earlier. It's almost like their brand. It's part of their marketing. It's like, all right, well, so we got this slated. Now, what can we do to mix it up and get people angry, get them talking?
Yeah.
Man, I just keep thinking about this. If I was a dwarf actor and heard they were making a new Snow White movie, it'd be like, okay, finally, I got a chance of some work, get some bills paid, everything's gonna be cool. And then to find out that the preeminent working dwarf actor talked so much shit about it that they're not hiring dwarves for it.
Yeah.
I would think about killing him.
You know, and Martin, one thing you said is that they could probably write better just for the dwarves. I agree.
Yeah.
They could write a whole story where these dwarves have their own subplots. Mm-hmm. Then maybe they have a subplot love story going on.
Yeah.
You know, you can actually write them to have big. It's Snow White, all right, and we already got that covered because we hired a brown chick to do it. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So now, you know, give these dwarves a little bit extra to do, and we'll be fine. I don't think that. Listen, I haven't seen the movies. I don't know.
Look at the dwarves in say The Hobbit. They spent a lot of time with them, and
when
you watch those movies, you get to know all of them.
Yeah, except they suck though.
I like them, especially in the first movie.
I like the Doors. I just don't like those movies, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but the main dwarf was sexy and a warrior. so yeah, man. No, I agree with you when you say that. They could definitely write those dwarves better. I see. This is the problem we get into, man. When they just want to make a buck. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I haven't seen the movie yet. Who knows, man? Who knows? I got to be fair with that. Anyway, there's our discussion, people. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have anything to add to it, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. We got comment sections everywhere.